Hi, welcome to Matters of the Heart and Soul. I'm your host, Janie Charlo. Matters of the Heart and Soul is a podcast to raise awareness and awaken humanity to all that is within. We want to be a beacon of light on your life journey. Okay, so the first question is, what is love to you? What does love mean to you?
I think love is caring for people and people that you should care for and always be by their side.
Okay, good. Anything else you want to answer? Add to that?
I think that's it.
All right, and the second question is, what is God? How would you define God? What does the word God?
I define God as the creator of the universe.
Good.
And
Anything else?
He's in all of our souls.
Good. Anything else?
No.
All right. That was Miles Whitaker, 10-and-a-half-year-old fifth grader. Hi, welcome to Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. I am your host, Janie Charlo, and I have my co-host with me, Russell Bruce. Say hi, Russell.
Hey, everybody out there.
So we did something amazing, and I think it was super dope. We set out to find out what the rest of the world thought about love and God. And so we did a survey. We did an audio survey, and you guys will get to hear some of the things that we heard. We wanted to know what love meant and what God meant. So wasn't it pretty dope, Russell?
Yeah, I think everyone's going to enjoy this and get something out of it. And hopefully we could continue this dialogue because I think it's much needed. I don't think there's one right answer. And you'll kind of get the gist of that by listening to the various answers. But there were a few things that were common amongst all of them. And you'll get a chance to hear that as well.
Yeah. So our mission was to provoke thought, to provoke conversation. And I think we achieved that. I got some feedback saying that, some people went to bed thinking about, wow, what is love to me? And I think that is our whole mission, is just to provoke thought, to provoke conversation, and to kind of bring things back to love. We all have problems, we all have issues, but I think if you can get back to that center, and that center is love, you kind of forget about all your worries and your problems.
Good stuff. Let's get into it. I'm excited.
All right, so check it out.
I think love is a combination of many things. It's a feeling, and it's an action. It's something that bonds people together in a connection that they truly feel, So I think love is just something that you show when you truly care for somebody in everything you do. Appreciation and just the vibe that you have with that person.
Okay.
Good stuff, man. Second question is, if you had to define God, what is God to you?
Well, I think in that sense, God is love. God is the feeling in your heart for your fellow man and for yourself that says that you are worthy and that the world is worthy of your love and you are worthy of the world's love, and that God is eternal in some ways, and God is certainly unseen in a lot of ways, and God is faith, more than anything else, because there's certainly no definitive proof. So there's a faith that we have in something higher that leads us, and something higher that brings us together.
That's good
Good
stuff.
stuff, dude.
So love to me is unconditional. It's understanding. It's friendship, and it's someone for me not when I'm at my highest, but when I'm at my lowest. I can't see love. Love for me is all actions.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to add to that?
Absolutely. Love is friendship. Love is me speaking and he finishing my statement. Love is somebody that I see myself in my elderly years, rocking in our rocking chair.
Okay. All right.
Unconditionally, it's not, love is, that person that
Love is a commitment and an emotion that is given to someone that is not worthy of it, even though you still love them.
Okay.
Love is a giving soul, have a giving spirit to help others, or to help in a situation to brighten or to enhance that relationship.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So second question is, what is God to you?
Yeah. So God to me is a spiritual connection that is faith-based, that motivates me on a regular basis.
Good stuff. That's a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You think your queen would want to participate?
She's listening.
She's listening in. She got chance to prep.
love,
It's many things to many people, right?
Love, you love, your parents, you love your kids, you love your friends. So I'm trying to.
There's different levels to it, because you love God,
Yes, there's different levels to it. So I'm thinking about, with all of those different.
Like let's think all encompassing. Like all encompassing. If you had to encompass all of it.
It's patience, it's understanding, it's kind, it's giving. So I guess when I think, that's what I think love is.
Okay, so the second question is, what is God? Like if you had to define God, what is God?
God to me is
deep questions, right?
But it's like God to me is like a force, like an energy force that helps to give me guidance, to give me strength, to give me really the things that I need in order to love, to be patient, to be kind. I think love is an action. I think it's something that it's something that you show. That's something that I think it's something that you prove to somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's action.
To somebody, it's like it's an action. I think you have to be a giver. I think you have to be open to someone else. It's not always about you,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, action, giver. And then the second question is, what is God to you? If you had to define God, how would you define God?
He's everything. I mean, he's everything. And I think if I had to describe him now, I would just say, I think it takes time. I think it takes people going through things to understand him and like their place in his life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like everything he does that surrounds you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's faith. And I think it's a lot of prayer. I think it's, I think God is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's love to me. Well, how can it's honestly, it's hard to even put in words.
It is. That's why we're asking.
How can I explain?
See, and the reason why I'm even asking, because it's like you have so many people that it eludes. You obviously figured it out. So it's like, the thing is, we're just asking a question to see what people's answers are, because it's like, we have ours, and it's like if you ask 100 people, you're probably gonna get 100 different answers. That's what we're asking.
True. All right, and when you ask me what is love, like what are we talking about, like with my wife?
Nope, it's whatever you want it to be. Give us your top two
what
sentences.
What love is, it could be. Okay, I'll let. She keep hitting me like I'm saying something wrong.
You're not letting him talk.
All right.
I mean, I don't like the first word that comes to my mind is like unconditional.
That's good.
I don't even know how to put it.
And a couple people have said that so far that we've talked to. So that unconditional what though? No right or wrong answer.
It's not even like a what. It's just the feeling I have is unconditional. Like it's not. There's no conditions that can change the feeling of.
So it's like an emotion.
You just said it.
Yeah, the emotion that I have for whoever I love or in love with.
Right. It's unconditional and nothing else can change it. Like nothing can change the way you feel. That's good. All right. So the second question is, what is God? Like if you had to define God, what is God?
A higher power. God is love. It's an energy, positive energy.
Love to me is, I think, both a feeling and an action. The feeling that comes to mind when I think about love is a sense of, I guess, a sense of just longing for someone, and not in a lustful type of way.
Mm-hmm.
A feeling that you get that, you almost have a sense of being with that person and some type of connection. And the action part of it, I think, is what happens when, let's see, how can I verbalize this? Love as an action is the things that you do when you have that connection and have those feelings towards someone, how you present it to them. So I think it's a continuation of that feeling that you have to them.
Okay, so you said a feeling and an action. Anything else you want to add? On what is love to you?
I think those are probably the two top for me. The feeling and then the subsequent action that evolves when you have that feeling.
Okay. And then the second question is, what is God?
What is God?
Mm-hmm. To you.
Oh, I feel that's a loaded question because it's.
I know it's loaded, so give us your top 2 to 7 sentences.
Okay.
Like if you had to define God, what is God? Like some people say it's a man, it's a tree, it's a whatever. Like if you had to define.
Well, I think it's hard to define because it's many things.
That's very
I
true.
believe that God is man. I believe God is Savior. I believe God is love.
Mm-hmm.
So I think. If I had to define love, I would say it was something that is a feeling that you feel deep within. It's something that you feel like you're addicted to and you just can't live without. That's just bottom line.
Okay.
Good stuff. I like that. Second question, if you had to define God, what is God?
Well, we were just talking about that, and I'll let Vernon go ahead and answer this question.
I would define God as the supreme being who allows people to both succeed and fail, and allows people to realize when they're right and when they're wrong, and pretty much lets people learn from the lessons.
And I'll add to that
negatives that they've experienced,
the choices that they make as well.
Good stuff.
Okay. And Vern, how would you define love?
I would define love as when mentally, physically, and spiritually, people in what they call symbiosis, which means their thoughts, their actions align with each other without very much effort. When it's forced, it's not good. But when those three things align without much effort, I would describe that as being in love, because that's probably about the highest you can go emotionally. So that's how I describe it.
Good
Okay.
stuff.
me is unconditional.
Okay.
It's two people that are in love, not being selfish, always thinking about the other person, sharing things together. Love is everything with your spouse. Love is unconditional, Janie.
Okay, that's good. The second question is, how do you define God? If you had to define God, how would you define God for yourself?
God is amazing. God is wonderful. God is unbelievable.
Okay.
You know, God is everything, Janie. Everyone should have God in their life. Yeah.
Okay.
He's an awesome God.
I would define love as the friendship between two people, the growth, the caring and the understanding between each other, and the sharing of good times and bad times.
Okay, so love is something that grows, friendship, and in good and bad times. Anything else?
Nothing I can think of right now.
Okay. And the second question is, how do you define God? If you had to define God for yourself, what is God? How do you define that?
God to me would be it's what I choose to believe in, that there has to be something greater than what I'm going through or what's here. It gives me more to look forward to or something to work towards. God is that all being that guides us through our day-to-day and gives me comfort in bad times. And gives me joy, brings me joy when he see I need it.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Another thing about love is that feeling you get when you're away from your partner, when you can't wait to get back to him, and you do everything you can to try to get back to him.
So it's like a feeling.
That's love. Love is a feeling.
Traditional family, happiness within yourself, empathy, sympathy, everything that's all love for me. Is priceless. You can't put a measure on love.
Okay, all right. Anything else? Oh, that sums it up.
It's giving more than yourself to someone else.
Good.
When you love somebody, you have to love them unconditionally. It's more than love is more than anything.
I like that.
It's indescribable.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's good. That's real good. All right. Our second question is, what is God to you? If you had to define God, what is God to you?
Oh, God is the healer. God is the maker. Is the one that you always go to when you think that when he'll bring you down, but he'll pick you up. God is everything. When you're feeling down and you're depressed and you think that it's no more to go, when he bend you down to that knee, you will stand. Because he will bend you down, it'll make you stand. He bring you through different phases. He's the creator. He's the one that decides on the Alpha and Omega in our lives.
The beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. All right. Anything else?
Without him, without God, it would be nothing.
is I guess maybe in like a verb. You know, what you do, who you are. How you feel towards others. You guys hit me with a curveball on that one.
So a verb. So an action, I guess you're saying it's a verb. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I guess it's just a way to express how you feel towards someone, or for some people, some things. You use that word to describe, you know, I guess the deepest and richest feelings that someone can have.
That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, second question.
The second question is, how do you define God? What is God? What is God to you? How do you define that? What is that?
Well, I would say that is something that, you know, people imagine, something that people believe protects them, makes them feel safe, secure, in times of loneliness, when they're afraid, when they don't understand. They like to use God as the being that answers the questions that they may not understand, helps them feel safe when they're vulnerable.
Love is a verb. It's an act. It's an action.
Okay.
You want more?
Yeah, if you have more.
No, I'll just stick with that. It's an act.
Okay, love is an action. The second question is, what is God to you? How do you define God, if you had to define God?
Now that's a tough one, because can you define God?
That's an answer.
Right. I couldn't. I don't. With my limited vocabulary, I don't have the power, the width and the depth and the breadth to explain and to define God.
Wow, I felt that. I felt your answer, and I felt all your emotions in that. Yeah.
Goodness. Jesus. I know right now, girl.
Love for me is being available on all levels.
Okay.
With a like-minded individual, which is my wife.
Okay. Anything else?
Knowing that knowing that I love her more and believe in her more than sometimes she believes in herself.
Okay, that's good. The second question is, what is God to you? How do you define God? If you had to define God, how would you define God?
I would define God as my conscience. I believe that that's God for me isn't a physical being. God for me is a combination of all three: my mind, my body, and my spirit.
Okay.
And so that's what God is for me. And realizing that I have to maintain intimacy between each of those thirds.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
And I could say God is love, because that's where I derive all of my strength from.
That's right.
Love to me means that deep down in your heart you love a person and you trust them and you have faith in him, in whoever he might, the person may be.
Okay, so faith, love is faith.
Faith, love, and trust.
Okay. Anything else?
Kindness, caring.
Okay. And then our second question is, what is God? If you had to define God, what is God to you?
God is my maker. He's my everything. For the good times, the bad times, and just praise him for him.
Oh, good question. Love is just peace within yourself, peace with, if you're in a relationship with that person, just, it's undescribable, actually, for me. It's just a feeling that like you're either in love with someone or with yourself, and you're at just the ultimate peace with yourself in life and spiritually, mentally, physically, just, yeah. This is the best way to describe it for myself, I guess.
Okay, love is peace. I like that. And the second question is, what is God? If you had to define God for yourself, what is God?
God is same thing. For me, God is peace. Like when I'm, searching for answers, don't know, or scared, or just confused, or happy, or whatever, I can turn to God and seek out answers and get my peace there as well. So, yeah.
Okay, so God is peace. Love is peace. Anything else you want to add to this?
God is love as well. God is love, peace. It all kind of intertwines for me. Like it all goes hand in hand. Can't have one without the other.
Okay, I like that.
I would define love as something that is unconditional, something that doesn't waver, something that shows, that's an action word that shows that you care about someone in spite of their, how they treat you. You just care about them more than yourself.
Okay, that's good. Dwayne, you want to answer that first question? So you don't have to sit there and try to cheat and think about your comebacks.
She kind of takes my stuff as well too, a little bit of it. But love for me is just putting my feelings to the side, putting their feelings in front, showing them every aspect of myself that I can give them all, give them the world, make sure I'm putting their feelings in action, putting their feelings in action, make sure that I'm caring about them and their feelings as well. Love is, to me, is more of an action, because I can say I love my wife every day, but if I'm not showing it, And it's like, why even I'm saying I love you?
Okay, that's good. The second question, Chelsea, is what is God? If you had to define God for yourself, how would you define God?
God, you said?
Yep.
Okay. If I had to define God, I would say that he was all-knowing, someone who cares beyond what we can give. He is love. He is the definition of someone who is self-sacrificing.
Okay. All right, Dwayne.
That's easy. The Alpha and Omega.
Okay.
Perfect.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah, just everything that's he's the world. So just without him, we wouldn't be here.
That's a tough question.
Just give us your best 2 to 3 sentences, or just whatever pops in your head.
Okay. I would say love is all encompassing. I would say love is giving and taking. Love is truth.
Love is truth. I like that.
Love is truth. And I would say love is purpose.
That's good stuff.
That's how I would describe it. I mean, it's something that's I would almost describe it as intangible. There's not a tangible source that can kind of fulfill that to me.
Okay. And then the second question is, what is God? If you had to define God for yourself, what is God? What is God to you?
I would say God is the all-being. He's the ultimate source. I would say I would just say, for me, he's definitely my source. That's the one being that I'm dependent on, no matter what the outcome is, right?
Okay. Anything else?
That's how I would describe it.
Okay, well, basically what love means to me, love pretty much means that what everyone is supposed to give to the world is the infinite, most powerful gift that everyone has to offer to the world. But first, in order to get it, you have to love yourself, and everything has to come within. And I believe that's everyone's purpose on this earth, is to learn how to truly love.
Wow.
Great answer.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything else to that, or that pretty much sums it up?
That pretty much sums it up. That's everyone's gift to the world is love. That's the infinite power, the ultimate power. In order for us to make it to the next level, the next dimension,
All right. The second question is, what is God? How do you define God? What is God to you?
Okay, well, simple. To me, God, coming from a religious perspective, I was taught that God was an outside entity. But after doing several research and having several spiritual experiences, I often describe God in 2 ways. One, God is basically like they say that we are as above, so below. I believe that we are in God right now, that God is the universe, and that we are droplets in the ocean. What I mean is that God is the ocean and we are droplets in the ocean. So basically that's how I describe God. He is in us and we are in him. And we are all gods, but we are not the ultimate God. We are not the highest God, but we are all gods. And in every religious text that you speak upon, it pretty much, what's the word I'm trying to use? Yes, it references that.
We ain't got much to say.
Give you a standing ovation through the phone.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but that's just my view on it.
That is amazing. I love that answer.
Caring and passionate feeling, and you know, mostly love is when you concern and you treat everybody, any human being, you concern, you're compassionate, especially with that person. That's how I define love.
Okay. And then the second question is, how do you define God? If you had to define God, how would you define God?
Oh, God. God is the most beautiful thing in the world, baby. God had me here today. I'm still here because of God. I'm still live because of God. God is everything to me. Okay. God had me the way I'm strong today, that person that I am. Everything is God. I love God with all the meanings. God is the more creative. Is a creative. He created everything. He created the world.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that was deep and dope.
Yes. So that was amazing, and it was actually just amazing doing it because we were able to just witness everyone's account of love and God, and it was also reflective
of the diverse thinking. I'm talking about there was no one set thought that people out there, and I think if we had talked to 1,000 people, we would end up with that many different variations of thought, right?
Yeah. So we want to thank everyone that participated. Thank you all for sharing your hearts and your vulnerabilities with us and now the rest of the world. Like we said, we want to take this back to the center, and the center is love. And I think just listening to that, I mean, that put me in the vibe of like just
makes you want to get better.
Yeah.
Makes you want to get better, think deeper. Because I just think that too many of us have been trapped in a box, like whether it be in religion or in a definition of what love is, you know, from a societal perspective, instead of digging deeper, because there really is no set definition for the most powerful thing in the universe, like the most powerful energy in the universe. And then when you're talking about God, you're talking about something that's omnipresent, meaning it's in everything and everywhere. There's no in the world you could define it like through religion or through a book.
No.
A book. It's deeper than that.
We surveyed people of all ages. Like we started out with a 10-year-old all the way up into just about 70-year-olds. Divorced people married for 30 plus years.
50 years in one case.
Yeah, and we realized that love has no face, no gender, no race, no financial status. It truly is unconditional. That was something I picked up on through a lot of the the accounts, I heard love was perfect. I heard love was truth.
An action verb.
Action. What else?
I think both are interchangeable, right?
Mm-hmm.
God is love.
Yeah.
Love is God.
Yeah.
And, when you're talking about the highest power in the universe, you're talking about like love. We say there's two emotions and love is one of them, and everything that's good is a derivative of love, and love being an emotion or energy in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And then God also being that energy that connects and binds all of us. Love is almost like that gravity that connects all of us together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Russell, what is love to you if you had to define love for yourself?
After all that, it's like I gotta go back to the drawing board and come up with a better definition.
Yeah.
And once again, I think it will vary as time goes. I don't think that, just like at one point everybody thought that the earth was flat.
Well, what is it for you right now?
So right now, I would say love is the most powerful emotion in the universe. And that love is God. So like, for example, whether it's, say, with my children or my friends or with your significant other, that love is, like, for me, seeing them as God sees them, right? So with my children, I want to look at them through the eyes of God, non-judgmental, unconditional, things of that nature. So it's like in forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's a situation where it's that male-female love, or between two people who fall in love with one another, it's like,
right.
For example, I like to say, the God in me sees and honors the goddess in you. And I think that's taking it to another level. So like, for example, one of my favorite movies is Avatar, and in there, instead of them saying I love you, they say I see you. Which you hear people say.
And we all want and need to be seen.
Exactly.
Beyond the physical and exterior.
Exactly. And it's like, it goes beyond physical beauty, shape, form. I see the energy within people, and that's where we need to connect, because that energy it can't be boxed up.
It's infinite.
And it's really hard to describe it. We'll attempt. We could describe it. It's something really you can only experience or feel. Like true love at its highest height isn't really something that, it doesn't happen every day. It's something that you have to experience. Like a person who hasn't had a child, it's hard for you to describe it, because it's almost like you've been abducted by an alien. It's like an alien experience, because it's so new and so different. And then it's like you get all these God-given instincts that come along with it from the time that child comes into the world that you never thought you would experience. And you're running around showing people pictures of your child. If they haven't had a child, they can't relate.
Yeah.
So like someone who falls deeply in love with somebody, they're telling everybody about this person and everything, and that person, if they've never experienced, they can't relate. So it's something, that's why I think it's an ongoing conversation that we, let's keep this conversation going. If we have to do a 10-part series or what do we have to do, let's do that, because I think everybody, including myself, we're going to continue to grow and build on something that's special, because I just think that we have to become more critical in our thinking and our analysis of both what love is and what God is, so that we can evolve individually and collectively.
So what is God?
God is
to
that
you,
energy.
To you.
And they kind of are interchangeable, right? But God is that most powerful energy that binds us all. Like we are all microcosms of the macrocosm. And in going back to what Rashonda mentioned, in reference to us being drops of water in the ocean, I like to use that because it's something that everybody can identify with, and it makes sense, right? So if we are individual drops in the water in the ocean, and say that ocean is that God body, we are just microcosms of that macrocosm. We are parts of a bigger whole. And that's why if we listen to other people, right, everybody collectively, everybody has something that's unique and special. Like each and every one of us have different thumbprints, or the iris within our eyes is printed out slightly different. Even though it looks the same, it's different. So collectively, that's why it says when there's more than one person gathered together, it's like you get strength in numbers, right? So it's like, in order for us to change the world or to do God's work, the more godly people you get together, and it doesn't take everybody, it just takes enough to create critical mass to get that tipping point for us to change the world. So God is everything. You can't even define God. I'm talking about, we're only attempting, because it's like we are physical, finite, well, really spiritual people, but we're speaking from a finite position as long as we're trapped in this physical body, right? Trying to define something that's so expansive it goes beyond, the state of Georgia and the earth. It goes to other planets, other galaxies. You see what I'm saying? So totally. God is not just the God of the United States of America or earth. God is the God of the universe, the galaxies, and whatever else is beyond that. All right, so Janie, with that said, how would you define love?
So I could give you the short version, or I could give you the long version, but I'm gonna stick with the short version. Love is truly selfless. It is not thinking of self in no way, shape, or form, and it is thinking of the other person, the other situation, the other whatever it is, before and above yourself. So it is completely selfless. It is removing self from it. It is completely unconditional. So it has nothing to do with your job. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has nothing to do with the house you live in, the car you drive. There's no conditions. There's zero conditions. And I think that as we go through life, our capacity to love unconditionally have to be built. So, me as a teenager, I have no clue what unconditional love was, because my parents was pouring their love into me. I wasn't even able to comprehend unconditional love. So as you grow and evolve as a person, your capacity expands. I think where I truly learned unconditional love wasn't in a marriage. It was when I had a child. Because now I have learned that no matter what, I've got to love this child with everything I have. Give this child everything I know, everything I've learned, so that they can be better than me.
Totally.
Better than me. Because even in a relationship as a spouse, there's a pull, and you're trying to do something, they're trying to do something, and sometimes that other person don't have your best interests. It should be, because if I'm working hard to love you beyond myself, and you're working hard to love me beyond yourself, then there shouldn't be no issues. But I think, and I can't even say all parents get this. I can't, because then we wouldn't have so many kids in foster care. We wouldn't have so many kids needing adoption. All I could say is that for me, my capacity expanded beyond self once I had a child. Because everything became about the betterment of that person beyond myself. No matter what my child does, I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to turn my back. Ever. I don't care. Never, ever. Ever, ever, ever. And I think that And then from there, I understand that I can love unconditionally everywhere else. Why did I have to go through having a child to get that? Not sure. But I think that's where the capacity started to grow. That's all I can say. It's a capacity thing, I think.
Amazing answer. I'm definitely going to have to play this back and listen to that one again. That was good. So with that said, then what would be your definition of God?
If I search within my heart, I would have to say that God is all of me. The creator is the best way I could put it. The ultimate source for everything. Like, I don't worry about what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to wear, how I'm going to pay my bills, because the ultimate creator does it. And it's a belief system. And I believe that we were not randomly put here. No human being was randomly put here on this earth without an ultimate creator. And I believe God is love. And if we are to be in the image of our creator, we should be walking, talking, serving, and being love. Preach. Every day, all day.
Preach, sister, preach.
Yeah, let me not get too, you know. But that's where I'm at. And it's been an evolution to be here. But when I tell you, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm thankful.
I'm happy to be here. I'm very grateful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Great job.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like I want to hear more. I want to hear more. We're gonna definitely have to do this.
Yeah, we may have to do another part. But so we're gonna wrap this up. This was what is love? What is God to you? An episode of Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. I'm Janie hosting, and my co-host
Russell Bruce.
Yes. So please share this podcast. Any questions, comments, anything, you can email at mattersoftheheartandsoul@gmail.com, or you could send your emails to nphired@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. Stay in love, walk in love, peace and light.
And if the sun's not shining where you're at, hopefully it's shining inside of you.
That's a good one, Russell.
All right.